Hello and good afternoon.
Hello.
Welcome to Paradox. Now it's myself, Jake, and Bjorn here, and we're going to be taking a look at EU4 Mare Nostrum.
Yep.
I was told I'm going to be butchering how that's pronounced, but oh well, what we're going to do. But before that, we have now concluded the developer multiplayer game, which I was observing and Bjorn was playing in.
The Mighty Ming.
Yeah, Mighty Ming, and yeah.
Oh, sorry. I'm not used to these
modern
modern
the thing.
stuff.
Got some cash injection to actually get some headsets in here, so hopefully you hear us all right there. So yeah, we finished off the multiplayer developer multiplayer game, and that's all on YouTube right now. I would strongly recommend checking it out. But that was on 1.15, and here we are with Mare Nostrum. I'll get the disclaimer out of the way right now that this is the in development build. So your mileage may vary when it comes out. Your mileage certainly will. So straight away, we've got some map changes on the go, and let's have a closer look at them. Now, Bjorn's got his eyes on the chat here as well.
I will divert my eyes here and see what you guys are saying.
Just ping us on Paradox Interactive if you've got any questions or things you'd like us to check out a bit more of. So, Mare Nostrum, one of the first things I want to have a look at are the map changes that we've done here, and straight away I'm guessing quite a few of you will see that some things are a little different. Some things are a lot different. We check it out here, the whole of Ireland's got a nice bit of makeup on it now. It's looking a bit closer to Crusader Kings Ireland with the amount of provinces we have here. And we've added a whole bunch of new countries here as well, so if you're looking to enrich your British Isles experience, yeah, some new places for you to start out there. Also, given Scotland a bit of a facelift, we've added in an extra province here, so you can...
Is it your province where you're from?
Well, I don't know, I'm from all over the place, but
okay.
I guess kind of.
I thought that maybe you went ahead and put in your own.
Oh, like, if only. No, if I was in charge of everything, you'd be seeing like 200 Scottish provinces and like one province of England.
That was a little preview 1.17 for you all.
Yeah. Seize control. And even England's had a little bit of change here. Cornwall's now been smooshed out a bit by Somerset. So some map changes over in Britain. We also prettified the borders over in France here. And again, if there's some questions you have in chat, just lay them on us. As I say, this is the first Mare Nostrum feature stream.
Not so many. Like they are curious about the Calais crossing, though.
Ah, yes, right. Now there's a good point. So we added a crossing from Kent to Calais. So if you're wanting to march your mighty British armies over onto the mainland, you now have that accessible. Of course, the power of the British fleet will be what keeps them safe from aggressors that will want to cross that over there. As long as you have a good enough fleet, you'll be able to block that. Although, if one person controls both sides of a strait, they can't be stopped. That was a change we made in 1.15, 1.14. My memory fails me there. But where else have we changed? There's been a number of changes over in the Russian region here. So Muscovy's provinces got a bit of a facelift and a bit more punching power for Novgorod. But that also means more food for you to consume if you are playing as Muscovy, looking to unite the Russians here. And you might notice another extra country here. Who am I to say? So just enriching the experience around there as well. Hungary as well. Hungary was one of our players in the multiplayer, and unfortunately we can't retroactively give them these extra provinces. I'm sure they wish they'd had them by then. But we have all these changes, but what's the crown jewel of all of this? Well, we have to pan the camera just a little bit to the south, and here we go. This is all completely changed. How many of these countries can you remember having seen before, Björn?
Well, I usually spend my summers in Luba. But yeah.
You serious?
Yeah.
Oh man, I was kind of hoping that.
My African geography skills are abysmal.
Yeah, well, they're about to get improved just by playing around. So we've got a whole load of South Africans here, and yeah, really enriching the whole playing. There used to just be Congo here, and then we added Luango and Ndongo. And then it was like, well, why stop there? I've added a whole lot more of them. Got their own tech group. And they've really got
I got
their
an
own...
interesting question. I like,
Oh,
is Cuba and Luba actual historical names? Did they exist?
I assure you that a number of man-hours were put into properly researching.
Yeah.
So, you'll find the old kingdoms of Cuba and Luba somewhere in your encyclopedias.
Can you combine them to Cuba Luba?
This is why we bring you here, man. All right, so we can have Cuba Luba, sure, why not? Now I think if you conquered the area between them, you could match up the names just right. You could make it probably really big if you conquer one half.
You would like to be the king of Cuba Luba.
The king of Cuba Luba. No, got to aim high. You want to be the emperor of Cuba Luba.
Ah, yeah, true.
So in addition to the guys just to the east of Congo here, we also have the people around Lake Victoria. And they're somewhat isolated from the rest of Africa. There's lots of uncolonized land around them. So if you're wanting to play as, again, going to be butchering names here, it's just what I do. So Nakor, it's almost Kanur actually. So there's one for Anders there. You got Rwanda, Burundi. I'm just going to be killing these names, but here we go. It's the facelift we've given to the Africans, but it doesn't end there. Even around the Mutapa region, this just used to be Mutapa, Sofala and Kilwa. We've brought in the Marvi, the Lundu, the Tumbuka. Oh my, this again probably
so many good names to pronounce.
And lots of new ideas there, although we won't be going into those just yet. At least not just yet. In addition, there's the question of Madagascar. Now, did you ever play the Plague game? Where Madagascar is just going to be shutting off their borders as soon as a man.
I love that game.
As soon as a man in Brazil starts coughing, Madagascar is going to close their borders. Well, it's certainly closed to any Westerners that want to just colonize their way through it. We've added a whole bunch of countries here, and they're going to be vying for control. We've got the Imarina, Sakalava. I can't remember who historically came out on top here, but they have a whole bunch of flavor for themselves. They've also got their East African tech group, which is slightly different from the Central African tech group that we have for the Central Africans. So it doesn't stop there. We've added a whole load of countries, but what more is there to it than that? Well, and this is one of the things that got received. I really like the reception we had for this when we announced it in the dev diary. But how much of a fetishist are you, Bjorn? Are you as much as these guys?
I decide to keep that information to myself.
Okay, fair enough. Well, keep it family friendly here. No, we have now got brought in fetishism for quite a lot of the Africans, and you know, if we jump into the game, we'll be able to have a look at that. So. Pick us one of the countries here.
Shall we play Africa?
Yeah.
Is it? Well,
we're
since I said it, I'm gonna say Cuba.
All right.
No, Luba is even better.
Cuba
Go with
Luba. All right, we're going to
try to make Cuba Luba happen.
Let's jump into Luba. Now we're not going to be playing through a campaign with Luba. I'm just looking to show off some of the features that we're bringing in here in Mare Nostrum. Let's get rid of the hints. I don't think we need those.
Yeah, exactly. We're not trying to power play here or anything. It's just showing off some features.
That's right. I mean, we don't have a date for this yet, but this is all Mare Nostrum, which will be coming alongside patch 1.16 in the future. So here we are in Africa, and this is as far as we can see. So before we start thinking about our crusades to bring fetishism over to Europe and Asia,
spread fetishism.
Yeah, we've got to deal with our immediate neighbors, but that's not what we're going to be looking at today. We want to have a good look at that religion. So if we pop over here and check it out, we have the fetishists. So they're a pagan. They're easier to convert. So when the Muslims or the Christians come, they'll have an easier time converting it. But conversely, if we end up conquering heathen lands, we'll have a greater tolerance of it, and we get a bonus to our diplomatic reputation. The idea is if you go fetishist, it won't be too hard to get too high a tolerance of the heathens. I'm looking forward to the first mod that brings in different fetishes that you can pick for bonuses. What we got in the chat there?
We got some questions. Yeah, they want to see culture map of Europe. I've seen a few times.
All right, well, we're just going to lift the whole Terra Incognita right there. We are dirty cheaters here in Paradox. I have no qualms about using the console commands here. They're asking about culture, right?
Yep.
So let's bring it right in here. Oh, actually, culture's got quite the facelift. While we're still down in Africa, we'll have a look at that. We have our different groups. We've got the Swahilis, Bena, Takama. Again, I'm just butchering these names, I'm certain.
Hakuna Makua.
It sounds like you're singing
Yeah,
Jungle Book
Hakuna
rhymes for
Makua.
me. Yeah, so if you want to unite the Shona people by playing over in Mutapa, that's certainly your prerogative. And we have the culture. I think this is... I'm trying to remember how it used to be shared, but I guess that's just old news now. We have the Congolese, Mbundus, and Bangalas. James, I could spend all day butchering these names. But I think they were specifically asking for Europe.
That's going to be a content extra DLC for Mare Nostrum, by the way. Jake reading all the African names.
Oh man, I'll have to get into Bjorn's studio and just yeah. I wonder how you do that. Just double click on the province and I'll go Akuna, Mata, Kuba Luba.
Okay.
So yeah, there's been a bit of a facelift on the cultures. I think this one got a bit heated on the forums, but we've now, instead of just having Russian, Belarusian, and Ruthenian, you've got the Muscovites, the Novgorodians, and someone involved in the region did tell me there's quite a bit of a difference culturally between the Muscovites and the Novgorodians, but I couldn't say one way or the other. I've never even been to Russia. Have you?
No, actually not.
No?
And yeah, I'm trying to. I know that whatever I say, there are so many people who know all this stuff way better than me. So I'm just gonna.
Yeah, they'll put you in your place. Trying to think of other changes that have gone on culturally. Maybe people with sharp eyes will notice that there's a bit of a change for the Irish and the Highlander. They're now together in their culture group.
Oh yeah, there can be only one though.
There can indeed, Jings. I'm gonna have to spread Highland culture now in my games from now on, or else my mother won't be able to look me in the eyes. We're also being asked how are the cultures different. Well, they're part of the same culture group. So if you are Muscovite, you'll be able to take over Novgorodian, Ryazanian cultures, and they'll become accepted fast enough that there won't be any malice towards them. But if they were unaccepted, you'd only get some slight malices to them. I think Novgorod starts with Karelian. There we go. That's in their culture group. I think Karelian used to be different altogether.
Also have some question about the trade map mode. Did we change anything?
Good. So if we pop back down to Africa here and pop on that trade map mode, right? So Zanzibar, everybody's favorite place to choke trade. They're going to be drawing in even more now because they can bring it in from Zambezi and the Great Lakes and Congo. So these are essentially feeder nodes that can go out towards the Ivory Coast or towards Zanzibar, which does eventually lead to the Ivory Coast anyway. So I'm not actually all that familiar on what trade goods you're going to be getting here, so why don't we just have a look. Now, numbers and the finer details are all still in the works, since this is still very heavily in development. I'm keen to stress that point now and again. Let's have a look at the trade goods here. So if you wanted to be gobbling up this land or mastering its trade, there's quite a bit more iron here than I'd expected. We've got copper as well, and salt. Daniel will want to conquer these. He actually keeps his trophy by his desk now.
His special, and he also keeps Forza's trophy on his desk. He doesn't want to give it up.
Just keeping it warm, I'm sure. Yes, Daniel was the Austria gone Italy player in the multiplayer dev campaign that concluded last week. It was last week, right?
Yeah, it was last week, and this is for you. If any one of you tuned in hoping to see the dev multiplayer stream that ended last week, we finished.
It's all on YouTube right now, and what a blast it was.
Anders keeps on putting the link to the YouTube on here, so you should there.
Yeah, strongly recommend watching that. But after we're done, because we're the stars right now.
Yeah, exactly. And the multiplayer is going to come back this fall. And in the meantime, before that, we might actually show you another multiplayer, just an off-topic teaser.
Yeah, just between me, you, and the hundreds out there. Just
and you.
Shh. All right, so that's how things are looking. I'm scratching my head to think if there were any other map changes that we went through. There's probably a little tweaks here and there.
Are there new straits added?
New straits, yes indeed. In fact, I'm glad you brought that up, because if you, well, actually let's tag over to them. As I said, dirty cheaters around here. I got no problem jumping from country to country, you know, just to show how much of a cheater I am. Let's give ourselves some cash as well, just for a laugh.
We need cash.
Yeah. Okay, so the hotly debated Straits of Gibraltar are now finally a strait. So there we go. If you actually own Gibraltar, well, you'll be conquering it from Granada, or maybe if you are Granada, going on a conquest of your own, you now have a strait that connects you to, where exactly? Cadiz. Cadiz, here we go. That's confusing me a little bit. Cadiz is probably because of localized names here, but let's see, I wonder if they'll give us access. Ah, I'm looking at the wrong people here. I digress though, there is now a strait between Castile, or rather between Iberia and North Africa. So if you wanted to march down there and put the heathens in their place, or better yet, start in Africa and decide that Iberia is going to be your new stomping grounds, then you don't even have to grab your boats. You can just walk along the strait now, provided you have you either control both sides or you have the naval superiority. So a good question is, why would we do this? Because it's been a debated thing for quite some time. The issue being that previously, if there were a strait here, Castile and Portugal, even more so than they already would, could just take over all these provinces. They wouldn't have any overseas issues. You remember, if it's too far away from your capital or on another continent, you're going to get all these overseas malices. That is where the new system of states and territories comes in. And this is still very much work in progress, so I'm kind of walking on thin ice, but let's do it anyway. By selecting the wrong map mode, that's a great way to do it. Yes, states and territories. So the world is divided up into regions. If I was a clever person, I would have put these map modes ahead of time, but I hopped onto a different computer to install this on. That's right, we do all of our live stunts here at Paradox Interactive. Got no stunt doubles here for me, unfortunately. There we go, states and territories. So previously, would have been an issue taking North Africa. Because it's on a different continent, you would have 75% minimum autonomy, it would all be distant overseas, yada yada, bing bang boom. Well, as part of 1.16, the world is divided into states and territories as done by regions. So for example, we have the Maghreb region around here, and Iberia, if they were so inclined. Let's grab Castile, and let's say I were to... I do wonder if funky things are going to happen when I do this, but let's live dangerously. We want the Castilian Maghreb, so we have now skillfully conquered Morocco. You know? Just
like that. That's how good we are. We look at the screen and it just happens.
Yeah, didn't even take a day. I think I'm getting too good at this game, frankly. Let's let a day pass because it's all dark and stuff since we were cheaters. So we've got all this land, and it's a little problematic because it's at 75% autonomy. But with the new states and territories, what I can do is I can actually assign this whole region, this Maghreb region, and say, this is a Castilian state. This is a land that we exercise divine right and superior control over, and as such it shall be one of our states. You're limited to the number of states you can have, very easy to mod, and as you play through the game you will gain more of them.
We get some questions about a little button on top of the buildings there.
Ah yes, very pertinent. So, let's say we wanted to make this our it's currently a territory, as with the states and territories mechanic, but if we just hit that little button, we go ka-ching. It is now a state of ours, and as such, the minimum autonomy has fallen. We currently only have territorial cores on it, because, well, we did cheat and take the country, but let's just cheat a bit more to solve our woes there. What did I even type there? I don't know why I typed whatever I typed.
I think you typed core.
Oh. I'm getting a bit ahead of myself there. Making up cheats as I go along. That's pretty bad for me. So you will have territorial cores on territories that you take. But if you make it into a state, you can upgrade these territorial cores instantly and for half the cost to make them full core. And would you look at that? 0 autonomy for Castile over in North Africa. Now, to create a territorial core costs half the regular amount, and to upgrade it costs half. So you're still you're looking at the same cost if you want a full core in a state, but you don't have to. And this is going to open up quite a bit of new strategies. I can especially imagine our world conquerors already turning the cogs in their heads, not speaking for myself here or anything, about how to maximize this. But essentially, you can decide where is your interests for your country. So previously, if your capital was in Europe, you know, the border about where you could have land that isn't overseas would be based in your continent unless you had a land connection. And that really screwed over people like England and Scotland and the Irish, or people with capitals in Bornholm, whoever they may be, because they wouldn't have the land connection. Now you can decide where in the world your interests are going to be and where will not be. So let's say you had a little outpost in the Balkans, but you didn't want it to be the main focus of your country. Just set it as a territory, half-price coring, but you are floored on the autonomy you can have. Like it, you won't be able to go below 75% autonomy as if it were overseas. But let's say you have a very lucrative thing going on in East Africa. By all means, make it your state. You'll have 0 autonomy there, and you can develop them up into full cores. And that is why we were finally able to add the strait to the Strait of Gibraltar.
Through very long paths, we arrived.
Yeah.
That's where we were going.
I believe part of the idea is we want the patch number to be as high as possible on on Europa. That's why we're not going for 2 point something. Bigger means better, right?
They want us to show Scandinavia and boobs, apparently.
Well, no, I'm not gonna go through in the second part.
We can show you Scandinavia, but yeah, we give you half of what you ask for.
Yeah, here we go. Actually, we can get rid of the darkness there. I don't think... Oh, no, I was going to say, no, there's no tweaks to Scandinavia. What am I saying? This is actually quite a bit different. There used to be this big U-shaped province here, if my memory serves, but it's been broken up. And people love it when I butcher Scandinavian names. We have Österbotten, Rovaniemi, Jokkmokk.
That was actually good.
Jokkmokk?
Yeah, that was pretty much accurate.
Yeah, one of my favorite things about living here is seeing people wince when I try to say Scandinavian things. Especially like Sjælland, right? It's
Yeah, pretty much. Sjælland.
Yes, Finland's been fleshed out a fair bit. And just some redesign on the provinces here. I think that was actually something that was requested for a fair while, both internally and externally.
And just reminded me also when I say that Cuba Luba Cola, I would like somehow
you want
cola.
You want some cola?
I would like, well, Cuba Cola. I don't know, Cuba Cola. Is that something that existed outside of Sweden, or was that a Swedish thing?
I have never heard of it, but...
I don't know.
Well, if you want to relive your dreams of Cuba Cola, you can do just that. Jings. The puns are... I'm just imagining them and they're already hurting.
No, yeah. Well, are we going back to Africa, mayhaps? I don't know. Are we going to play a little? Or people have so many opinions and questions, I guess. A lot of small ones.
Yeah, I know. That's the thing. We have a lot to work with, but not all that much time. So I think...
We are going to have more of these streams, so it's not just...
Oh, yeah, that is true. So we're actually going to have quite a few more, I imagine. So there's definitely more to cover in the future there. Already went over the fetishists. Of course, if you want to try your hand at spreading Sunni around here against all the fetishists, that's sounding wronger and wronger the more I say it. I don't believe there are any map changes to America, but okay. We can go on to something that I do know has changed.
The new alert up there next to the technology. Advanced technology.
Indeed, indeed. Let's get rid of the world. We don't need to see them that much.
No.
So
the world, who cares? Who cares about the world?
Yeah, I know. Well, we might as well stick as Castile since we have just grabbed all this land for ourselves. You might notice the bleeding money. Welcome to corruption. So in this game, you can become corrupt. And When I say that, it actually sounds kind of funky, but it's not as dark and powerful as that. No, well, wonder if it's too late to change that. No, we have corruption in the game now, and certain factors, and I can't really talk about the numbers or the things that impact on it too much, since it all is very much work in progress here. But certain aspects can affect corruption within your country. For example, grabbing too much overextension, having religious unity, taking bad choices in events, various things. And like I said, these are not finalized figures or ideas on it, will increase your corruption. And it's harmless at 0%. In fact, it's good for you. You can unlock some very nice events for you. But if it starts getting too high, you're going to face some problems. We don't actually have any, but let's give ourselves some corruption. I think that's it. There we go. I've got 5% corruption. Master of cheating me, even if it's to corrupt my own country. So you're going to find some nasty malices for you if you allow your country to get corrupt. So your power costs are going to go up. So you're going to find things like generals, techs, and ideas. They're going to get more expensive. You're going to be pretty terrible at spying because you're too corrupt, you know. I want you to keep this secret from everyone, Bjorn. And you're just like, hey, highest bidder gets to find out... Oh, jinx, how much Jake loves Riga or something like that.
Yeah, well.
And the minimum autonomy will go up, so a good country is one that isn't very corrupt. But the thing is, rooting out corruption is quite expensive, so maybe you want to allow it a fair bit, just to fill your own coffers. Nonetheless, if you want to root it out, you can now spend a portion of your income to reduce the corruption that you have. So you want to have a good, well-maintained core state, if you want to keep that corruption out.
Yeah, we got a good question here. What is the purpose of corruption? Like someone said here, doesn't that just seem to be bad for the players? So
you want to avoid expanding too hard without really dealing with it. You need to deal with it with either getting ahead in your administrative or diplomatic technology, or by paying it down. So if you try to expand too hard without taking the necessary precautions, you're going to find it a bit hurting on your country or a bit of a money sink for you. One of the things as well is that if you advance too much in your military technology without keeping your admin and your dip up to date, you're going to find that your unbalanced technology is going to corrupt you. I mean, you have such a strong army, but you're not really having a bureaucracy in place for it. Could look at nasty things coming from that. But if you are able to root out corruption altogether, you're going to face some really nice bonuses for it. You'll be getting events basically praising you for being incorruptible. Of course, similarly, if you allow it to go too high, well, you're a little too corrupt. People are going to be rubbing shoulders with the wrong people.
Yeah, and what we discussed the other day here, and the impact on mercantilism.
Actually, we dropped that out, funnily enough. So mercantilism, I don't believe is going to be having any effect on that. But it's nice that you bring up mercantilism, because if I get my tags right, and I do, if we jump over to Lubeck here, they're not gaining corruption. Yeah? Incorruptible city of Lubeck, at least for now. The reason I jump over to Lubeck is, and I'm glad you brought up mercantilism, is you can actually now increase it. Again, the numbers are still very much in the development phase, but if you want to boost up your mercantilism, you don't have to just wait on events or spending that papal influence. You can now do it directly at the trade screen. Boost up that mercantilism there, which will be particularly good for Lubeck, because they are a merchant republic in charge of a trade league. Yeah, trade leagues have been added to the game, something I've personally been wanting for a long time. Before I start jumping into those, we got any questions from what we've covered so far? Just grab a drink. All this talking.
About the corruption, this is something that also affects the AI, right?
Yes, indeed. The corruption is for everyone. Which is quite amusing, because we've added in a new spy option for that. So if you feel your neighbors are a little too incorruptible, you can jump on them for that. I think we can touch on the spies in a little bit. I'm also quite keen on the time because there's we have a lot of material to work with here.
Yeah,
and
we're about halfway through now.
Okay,
so
wow. Okay, Lübeck, probably one of my favorite provinces in Europe. I was a big fan of the Hansa, and that's mostly down to my love of money, but, you know, gotta live truly these days. Lübeck, at game start, is in charge of a trade league. You can check it out here. They used to have an abundance of allies, but if you start the game with Mare Nostrum, you'll find that they are leader of a trade league with their little trade leaguettes. I'm making up words here, but they are members of your trade league.
trade leaguettes.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, on the spot there. So you've even got the mighty Riga with you. You've got Magdeburg, Lüneburg, Hamburg. So many burgs. In fact, I think aside from Bremen and Riga, they're all burgs. So yes, indeed, what does that even mean? A very pertinent question I ask myself there. If you are in a trade league, if any member of your trade league is attacked, you're all going to group together to defend your rights as independent nations within a trade league. But it's not just military, the bonuses are very financial. If you are part of the trade league, for example, you're going to find your boats are 20% better at, well, they give 20% more trade power when you use them. It's pretty good, but not everybody has a coastline. So everybody that's in the trade league will get a double bonus from something. So let's take Saxe-Lauenburg, for example. They are not part of my trade league. Nonetheless, because they share a trade node with me, they get this goods produced modifier, which is pretty nice. It means that they produce more salt. I don't know why it's salt that always comes up. It's always the salt. Yeah. I'm pretty sure we're going to be seeing PJ Salt all over the Twitch chat. In any case, because we share a trade node with Saxe-Lauenburg, they get extra goods produced due to us being a merchant republic. Now, if you are a member of a trade league, you are going to get double that bonus. So they got 11%, but Hamburg here gets 22%. Yeah, I knew it. There we go.
It is.
And now people are saying, wow, it'll be impossible to fight Riga. Never say never, guys. Riga can be defeated. So yes, if you build up a nice, big, strong trade league, you'll be able to produce a lot more goods, which is going to feed into your trade nodes and make loads of money. The point is, you want to maximize the dosh. You can only be a member of a trade league if you are one province big. And if you have a one province member, that AI is going to be very hesitant to expand. So you can pretty much sleep safely that your league members are going to remain league members. Because if Hamburg were to annex Lauenburg there, they'd have to drop out of the trade league for being too big. The exception to this is, of course, the ruler. Because what fun is it being the ruler if you're stuck to just one province? You are, you're actually not limited on the amount you can have, but there is a malus that will hit you if you grow beyond 20. I believe it will start draining away at your republican tradition, which you kind of need to remain a merchant republic. So, let's actually grab our Lübeck. We're already here, and Danes, it's got to be the Danes, right? Away they go. We grow ever stronger.
This is how you play Europa Universalis, by the way.
Mm-hmm. Cheat, and then cheat some more. I'm just letting a month pass, just so that the Danish know they are well and truly Lübecker now? Lübeckian? What's the... Lübeckian, okay. So it was Lübecker. We'll have more power in the trade node here, the trade node of, I think it's also called Lübeck. There we go. Yep. And as such, Hamburg here is now making 40% more goods produced. A lot of that comes down to us now having the sound toll here, which gives us extra trade power. So you want to maximize the amount of trade power you're getting and get more members in your trade league. And it's all about generating that fine ducat, which you can use to raise your mercenary armies, of course. We've got a question coming in. Do trade leagues count as some sort of subject for a world conquest? No, they do not count as a subject. Actually, I'm not 100% sure how that's going to work with subjects, but as I say, it's still very much in development, and actually once the stream's done, I'm going to go and check that out, because now I'm curious.
Does the trade company affiliation cost a diplomatic here? action or connection.
Excellent point there. Yes, if you... Where am I looking at? Here we go. As part of a... If you're in a trade league, you will get -1 diplomatic relations that you can have. Because these guys are like allies for you in defensive wars. It means you won't be able to have so many big allies of your own. But the trade league can be as big as you want it to be. The
So
downside,
no matter how many are in the trade league, it just counts as one diplomatic relation.
it'll be one diplo relation because these guys can't really call you into their offensive wars. Because, you know, why would I back Oldenburg fighting East Frisia? For one, they would expand and drop out anyway.
Yeah.
On top of that, anybody that is in the trade league is going to be giving their trade power to the leader of the trade league. So it's not just about me having these guys generate more money for me. I'm also getting their trade power. So if we hop over to Lubeck, we got a fair chunk of it, and quite a bit of that coming in from our guys that are in the trade league. Got some coming in from Holstein, Bremen, Hamburg. So you want to claw up and be the leader, and then maintain a good, strong trade league. You don't want to fall too far down in prestige, because if you do, you'll no longer be eligible for the leader, and then a new leader will be elected if there is a merchant republic within the group. Otherwise, it will be disbanded, so look after your trade league well, else you might land into some hot water.
Here is a question I'm not sure I understand. Can there be more than one trade league?
Yes, indeed. So we've been looking at the Lübecker Trade League. Let's look over at... I'm tempted to go with Ragusa. I'm very tempted to go with Ragusa. Yeah, sure, why not? Ragusa, the little nation that could. Actually a survivor in the whole game. I think they're one of the few one-province miners that survives the whole game, if I'm not mistaken. Living under Ottoman protection. Yet I digress. We're looking at Ragusa, who is actually a merchant republic of their own. And you could, if you are that way inclined, have your own Ragusan trade league. They're a bit small and crappy. I'm not sure if anybody's going to want to join them. But if they liked me a bit more, and well, maybe they would. I'm going to make this happen. The Ragusan Trade League must happen. So let's just assume that...
Can a trade league leader change within the trade league? I believe Jake just went through that.
Yes. So if there is another merchant republic inside the trade league and the current leader falls from grace, they have a huge loss of prestige, then you could become the new leader. That said, though, you could also go away from it yourself and make your own trade league, like little Ragusa is going to do here, the little Ragusa that could. So here we go, we're going to invite Albania to the trade league. They will transfer their trade power to us, warns us that if we fall below 50 prestige, we're going to stop leading the league, and the bonuses and such from being in a trade league. So there we go, let us confirm, and there we go, we've got our own friend.
Albania!
Yes, so Albania and Ragusa together will, well, most likely get curb stomped by the Ottomans, but, you know, might not go that way. I doubt that our big buddies here are going to want to join us, so no. So there we go, there are the trade leagues. There was one more thing I wanted to touch upon about them, that is, if you have a bigger and stronger trade league, it's going to increase your... Yeah, words filling me here, but I can find it right there. Your trade steering is going to go up. So scaled by the number of people that you have within your trade league, your ability to steer trade will go up. And that increases the amount of value of goods each time it gets pushed from node to node. So if you wanted to have a super profitable, well, African trade league, if you were that way inclined, you could push it around here using your increased trade steering power and end up with a lot of ducats in your bank. So there we go, Trade League, something I sorely missed from Europa 3, and it is back with a vengeance. And no doubt, quite a few questions coming in, I see there.
Is there a limit on the size of nations who can join a trade league?
People that join a trade league have to be one province. If they grow to 2, then they're going to be kicked out of the trade league, and you won't be able to invite people that are bigger than that.
Yeah. And how many nations can be in a trade league?
1 million.
1 million.
There, as you grow bigger, though, there is a malice applied to people, so they don't want to join a trade league that is too big. They're probably just seeing it as, oh, we're just feeding the leader here. I don't want to be part of this. So, but you should be able to make respectably sized ones. Which I'm quite looking forward to seeing those trade league campaigns in, because I'm always a big fan of money. I'm Scottish enough to be able to say that.
Who needs money?
We've got other.
I pay to work here.
Could you pay me?
Yeah.
Somebody's pointing out a new country in Russia. Yeah, check them out. I don't want to butcher that name because I know I would, but part of the.
Oh, come on! Don't disappoint now.
Odoyev.
I have no idea. I think it sounded kind of charming. I like it.
Charming. Oh, thank you, Kane. New province in Hungary and Slovakia. Yeah, let's just lift the fog of war to admire that for a little bit. Jings, Hungary's getting pretty beefed up.
Yeah.
I wonder.
Bad Hungary. And there's can Venice or Genoa form a trade league?
Absolutely. If you are a merchant republic, you can form a trade league, and you can even become a merchant republic if you take trade and economic ideas. I think that sounds about right.
What happens if you're the leader with more than one province who lose prestige?
Yo.
Do you get kicked out of your league? Can you reform it?
Yes, and yes. So let's say actually that's a brilliant point.
Get a lot of questions also on the condottieri. That's not something
I
we're
have
going to
no
talk
idea
about
what they're
today.
talking about.
No.
Maybe they're seeing something that I am not. So let's imagine that Lubeck have fallen into dark times. Not plus 400 prestige. These cursed Swedish keyboards get me every time. We fall from grace, and then the trade league gets disbanded because we are too disgraceful to lead it, and they don't have a merchant republic within their own to really lead them. So there we go, and we're in a bit of a bad bit because we can't establish a new one. But let's say we are able to rise up again. We can make our own trade league, and it's going to be bigger and better than ever before. So you're going to have to mind just how happy you keep the members of your trade league and keeping an eye on your prestige so that it doesn't fall apart. And that's also how you can break down a trade league if you find that one is getting in your way a bit too much. You're just going to have to put Lubeck through some humiliations. And yes, people are asking Genoa, Venice, so if I were to tag over to Venice, for example, like I played in one of the multiplayers, they'll be able to fight with Genoa for dragging everyone into their trade league. Bearing in mind that it's just one province miners that you can bring in, but there are plenty of releasables, or even people you might want to chop down to size to bring them in. We're being told to make trade leagues great again. I'm going to build some ships and have the Ottomans pay for them. Is that how it goes? Am I making the funny things yet?
Well.
So, and yeah, those are the trade leagues. There's still quite a few questions coming in. Don't think there's any.
Also, I'm concerned. Like so many people are concerned with the colors of the nations. I see a $30 DLC incoming with the color design. Like choose the color of your country. That's the only feature. Okay,
let's make it happen. All right, that's $30 is a bit too conservative. Stick a zero on that.
Be 40.
All right,
it's such a valuable feature.
Thank you. Coming to a storefront near you. And we're also being asked how Gotland is doing. Well, under our control, they're doing not so bad. I wonder if I can actually. Now they're under siege from Danish pretender rebels. This is what happens when you jump into to just annex countries using the console. So let's get away from the mess that we've made over there. Also not so fond of being able to see the whole world here.
Can you force into trade league via peace deal?
Forcing someone into your trade league, no, but you can force people to give you their trade power, which now does not take up a diplomatic slot. So if you are keen, especially in your trade league, to be harvesting all that sweet money, then yeah, let's say we're going around here and we don't want to strictly conquer all this land because, well, for example, there is a soft limit of 20 provinces you can have as a merchant republic before you start taking malices to it, but you're like, I really want Ajuran's trade power. You can force them to war and force them to give you the trade power. It's not going to cost it.
Ajuran trade power.
Oh yeah, it's actually Mogadishu that holds it. That's the secret. Mogadishu is their vassal down there. I don't know why though. Apparently it's a coastal center of trade. So yeah, loads of money to be made in Mare Nostrum. So it's very good. That especially touches on the Italian merchant republics that they have here at the time frame. Venice and Genoa struggling with each other for power, but I think it was Venice that came out on top from all that. You'll see Genoa just gets absorbed into the big blue blob in due time. So I'm wondering how we're doing on the time. We are a little pressed, but I think we can show.
15 minutes to go.
I think we can show something else off. Why don't we? So
for some reason we get a bunch of Slovakians, I assume, in the chat because yeah, they really want to see Slovakia.
Slovakia, huh? I don't think we have a Slovakia to show off. If I were to jump over to Hungary,
no, I don't think there's a Slovakia tag, is there?
No. Wait, James, that's new. Well, now. I never knew that was there, and I continue to not know. Oh well, there we go. So, pick a reasonable-sized nation for us, Bjorn, because I want to show off something a little different.
Something cool. Do you want it to be European, or does that matter?
It matters not.
It matters not. But can't we continue with Cuba Luba?
Cuba Luba. Okay, why not? I wonder what their tag is actually. Would it just be Cub? Wow, who would have thought it? Okay, well, welcome to Cuba Luba. I feel like I'm going to get into trouble for if I keep saying that for some reason. There we go. I want that fog of war back on again. So here we are, and there is something that we've switched up a bit in Mare Nostrum, and indeed as part of 1.16. So you'll remember way back when, if I wanted Songo, way back when, I mean whatever is currently out at the moment, if I want Songo, I could fabricate a claim on it and we'd be done. We've changed how that works, and now you must do your actions through SpyNet. In fact, let's clear these out. Hawk-eyed people would have noticed these ticking up already, but you now build up spy networks in other countries. So it'll take up one of your diplomats, just like fabricating a claim would. And here we go. We're going to send a diplomat over there to build a spy network. It'll increase by an amount per month, and that is dynamic. So if I wanted to, heaven forbid, build it up all the way over here, I'm going to have a harder time because the Ottomans are quite a bit further away. There are various ideas and things that will impact on this, but as I say, the numbers are very much in the work in progress state. So, why am I building up a spy network? There's a few bonuses to that. So if we have a good spy network in another country, it goes from 0 to 100, we're going to see some bonuses there. For example, we can siege faster somewhere that we have a decent spy network in. So sure, you've been in that situation before. You're sieging down that fort and you're like, oh, is it ever going to end? Well, if you have a half-decent spy network, that's actually going to give you more siege ability, speed up those sieges, and also reduce the aggressive expansion you incur with that country. So, let's say we're going to conquer Congo, but we don't like Yaka, or rather we don't want Yaka to start coalitioning us or getting lots of aggressive expansion. We could build up a spy network with Yaka, make sure we're talking to the right people inside the country.
And this is cool, we're just occupying this country.
Yeah, but it's
you.
good for you, right?
Yeah.
For the following reasons. And then, yeah, so you will have a benefit from building up strong spy networks in other countries on my then.
People are a bit concerned that the claims is slower now. That's explained to them, Jake.
Okay, explain to it indeed. So now when you build up a spy network, you use the points that you get from the spy network to fabricate a claim. So we're making, what's that, like 1.3 progress per month? And you use these points to generate your claims. So let's just speed up a bit. I could use my amazing cheats, but I've been using a bit too many of those today. I've got a reputation to uphold, I think. Maybe. So we're going to get it good and proper here. See, it's being used on us already. The underhanded rogues in Yaka have the gall to claim Munine as their own. They're claiming
Those
our Munine.
underhand rogues, seriously?
Curse them. So we've got some points built up from our spy action, and we can use those to fabricate a claim, and just boom, it is done. It is ours, and that has costed us from our spy network that we've built up. I mean, we can continue to build it up if we want those juicy, strong spy network bonuses. It's a trade-off. How do you want to spend your diplomats? Are you keen on investing so much into a spy network in another country? The situation will change. If you really don't want France in that coalition, and I think nobody wants France in that coalition, you very well may want to keep a strong spy network within them so that they don't get as much aggressive expansion with you.
Le Grand Bleu.
And that is how we are getting our claims now. So the old system of sending someone to fabricate, getting caught and enjoying 4 years of waiting for it to go
are there any negative diplomatic effects from building spy networks?
You can be caught, much in the way that you could be caught fabricating claims before or be caught doing other things. That will block spy actions for 5 years, but importantly it will not block you from making your claim, so you're not just going to be locked out from that. So yeah, if you get caught building up the spy network, you won't be able to build it up, but you'll have the points that you can spend. So you might notice that there are quite a few covert actions there. You know, I think that might actually be something for another day, because we've covered quite a lot of features.
Yep.
I just wanted to spend the rest of the time addressing the Twitch chat to see what they want to know.
Yeah,
I'll address you as well.
Well, yeah, I got it from the chat. What happens to the points if you build your spy network and remove the diplomat? What happens to the points?
Excellent question. You will have some points there. In fact, you know, why don't we just seeing is believing, right?
Yeah.
So we've got 10 there. It's giving us some very minor bonuses there. I mean, this is some very basic. I think you've sweet-talked the baker by this point.
Yeah.
But if we recall him... Oh, drop that too fast. Again, the numbers are very much work in progress, but the spy network that you have built up will trickle down throughout time. And that's what there is to it. So if you catch those people that have been spying on you, you will see their spy network is going to drop down over time. Same to you. So if you want to invest in espionage ideas, they're going to help you out quite a bit. I know hawk-eyed people will have seen those ideas there, but that is a story for another day. So yeah, for example, you'll be much better at detecting foreign spies. You'll be able to kick them out, and then that, for one, will drop down the amount of spy network points they have, and yeah, they're going to be unable to send to you again and build that up.
Yeah.
There's also ideas that bring up the spy network construction speed. So there's the base speed, and then determining on the distance away that the country you're building up a spy network is, and then you get the ideas to impact on that as well. See, the chat is lighting up with hopefully questions and not slander. So what have they got?
First, I just want to point out, if you want to see Ireland, you can watch a VOD of this stream, because we went through Ireland in the beginning.
Or maybe I'm a nice guy and I'm just gonna...
Yeah, you can show it.
Oh no, Scotland's getting ravaged.
Oh, poor Scotland.
Ugh, no.
So yeah, what bonuses does fetishism gives?
Fetishism gives, and I've got a great memory here, I don't even have to look it up. You will get +1 to your diplomatic... Yeah, I remember, don't I? +1 diplomatic relation bonus? No. Oh my. You know, why don't I just check it here instead of trying to be smarmy? Diplomatic reputation +1. Tolerance of heathens +2. So, you know, fetishism is a phrase that has been twisted and corrupted these days, but really it's just you love your idols, you love to worship things, so... Yeah, I guess you worship foreign religions as well. Got to catch them all.
Yeah.
And oh my, it's lighting up. I don't think we'll have the possibility to get through all those. Let's cherry pick.
Yeah. Let's see. Does EU4 diplomacy translate to real life? I pick out the good questions. Okay.
Maybe you can answer that one.
Yeah, well, of course. This is a perfect... This is how it's done.
Actually, in our office, that's not too far off. You see the fabricating claims done on some people's staff.
Okay, let's see. Any changes to Russian cultures?
Russian cultures, yes, that's a straight up yes. We went through this earlier on, and they have been diversified. But we've done this to many other culture groups, and I think it just came to being Russia's turn. I remember when this was all just, what was it, Castilian, Portuguese, and Aragonese. Glad that got changed up.
Does this mean that Novgorod can no longer blob because they are a republic?
They can blob all they want. As a merchant republic, though, if they get too big, they're going to have a malice to their... let's have a look at them. They're going to see a malice to their republican tradition if they blob too hard. But again, you might want that, you might want to work around it, or you may want to go a subject-heavy route. So it could be that you actually want to cast off the shackles of being a merchant republic by losing it.
Are there any, I've seen this appearing now and then during the stream, like new achievements? Are there any that you would like to disclose?
Well. If anything, the achievements were a parting gift from Wiz, who is now part of the Stellaris project. And what Wiz does, and he's not here right now, so I can say this with your impunity, is that he devises the achievements that will hurt me the most. I can't tell you what they are, but you'll know them when you see them.
Yeah, how this new espionage system, how does that impact aggressive expansion, or does it?
You build up the spy network to reduce it. As for getting it from being discovered, I will have an answer for you next time, because although I know quite a lot, I don't know everything. For example, I don't know how Austria got Lüneburg so quickly. Congratulations to them. Oh, Jinx, I think there's not going to be much left of Novgorod if we hang around on them. Okay, I think we've got time for 2 more questions. What have we got?
Are there any new formable nations?
I'm going to pass on that one, because I don't like the answer to it. You'll know what I mean in the future.
Yeah, okay.
It's not a no and it's not a yes.
Does the Finno-Ugric culture group still exist?
Finno-Ugric. If I recall well, that included Perm and Finland, and really I am pausing the game because if I stay on Novgorod, we're going to die. Unless the rest of the stream could be the mighty fight back of one lone cavalryman of Novgorod taking on the entire Russian army. But we digress here. Finno-Ugric. Let's see.
Uralic.
Yeah, we have this, and now Finnish and Sami have been absorbed into the Scandinavian culture group.
Yeah, Finno-Ugric, that's Hungarian also. I don't know what to do. I guess it's not in Hungary.
Oh, well, Hungary actually have some Carpathian.
Yeah, they also have some requests that you should flesh out the Byzantine Empire.
Just ban them, please. Just remove them.
And a new way to gain monarch points.
Hold on, just because of that. People love to hurt me like this. We're going to be... Oh, I think we gone blank. That's okay, though. I think
did I kill something?
Okay, now I can strangle Bjorn and no one's going to see, right? Yeah.
Are we back? Are we back yet?
Ooh. Oh, we're here. Okay, just in time to make myself feel a little better. There we go. I knew there was something wrong with the map, and now we've fixed it.
As a European nation, can you form states in Americas?
Can you form states in Americas? I'm going to go with no on that one.
We'll see. That we say no for now, but maybe, yeah. So,
yeah,
are we offline? I don't know. It looks.
No, okay, we're still good then. We are still good. But
so
I think that about wraps it up for this feature stream. There's going to be more in the future, and I hope you drop by because we've been scratching the surface here. There is still so much to get into with Mare Nostrum. But you've got a lot more questions than we are able to tackle today. Bring it to the forums. We'll drop by or save them for next week, and we'll do our best. Yeah. We won't just try, we will do.
Yes. And also you always have the development diaries, etc. to read up on more.
Thursday, right, for Europa?
Europa is on Thursdays.
Yes, okay.
So there you can read, for example, you have states and territories the other week. And what was the last one?
There were map changes. I think there was trade leagues before that.
Yeah. Well, you can find it in the EU4 forum.paradoxplaza.com.
But I think that does it from us.
I think so, yes.
Yeah, so from us in the office, thanks a lot for joining us on this Mare Nostrum feature stream. And see you later.
Bye-bye.
Ciao.